treasurer for OPS. I'm currently a senior at Questrom.
Hi, I'm Haika. I'm one of the PR co-chairs and I'm a junior in CAS.
Hi everyone, I'm Mehreen. I'm the other PR co-chair for OPS and I am a sophomore in CGS.
Hi everyone, I'm Fazan. I'm a junior here at BU's Questrom School of Business and I'm the External Affairs Coordinator.
Perfect. All right, I'm just gonna check to make sure if we have Momin Saqib on. Mr. Saqib, can you hear us?
Hi everyone, my name is Momin and I am honored to be a part of the event today and here with all of you. So yeah, just let me know when to start and how you'd like to.
Perfect. We're just gonna start off with a little intro. So now that we have Momin Saqib here, like I said, today we are very honored to be welcoming our guest speaker for our Ghup Shup session, Mr. Momin Saqib. For those of you who may not know, he was the first non-European student president in 144 years to become the president of Student Council at King's College in London. He is also the co-founder of Untitled Organization and 1 Million Meals. He's an entertainer and soon to be a debuting actor. So first of all, thank you so much, Mr. Momin Saqib, for taking the time out of your busy schedule. We truly appreciate you taking the time out and being with us today. Assalamu alaikum, and how are you? I guess that's the first question.
Firstly, thank you very much for the introduction. And yes, assalamu alaikum. And as I said, I'm truly honored to be a part of the event today. And normally, you know, when I visit universities pre-corona times, obviously, or if it's, virtual event, it's more like a talk where I get to speak to the students, I take them through my whole journey, etc., etc. But I think this Ghup Shup, I find this very interesting, we all can get the opportunity to just talk to each other. It can be like a two-way conversation and, obviously, which means it's more fun. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy to see all of you there. And if I'm not wrong, it's like the start of the new year and you all are coming together. Or when does your term start in Boston?
Our semester started in September. So we're now actually like midway.
Right.
Like at the end of December, I think December 22 is like our last final. So we're almost midterm now. Yeah.
Right. No, okay. So I'm glad that, today I don't just have to go on and on and on. It's more like where you can ask me questions and I can ask all of you questions. So yeah. I'm excited about that.
Perfect. So to start off, just to make it more interesting, we thought that we could do a quick rapid fire round. So we have a few words. I'm just going to say one word at a time, and then you're just going to say the first thing that comes to your mind, if that's fine.
Okay. Okay. I'm already quite excited about this.
Perfect. Okay.
Let's go ahead with it.
I'm just going to quickly say those words. My first word is mango.
Summers.
Okay. Pakistan.
Love.
Cricket.
Passion.
College.
King's College, obviously.
Golgappe.
Every week.
Yes, I love golgappe too. Pineapple on pizza.
Never.
Yes. London.
Love.
Perfect. Acting.
Interesting.
Dost.
Many.
And then book.
Important.
Perfect. All right, so that was the quick rapid fire. We are gonna now move on to the one-on-one interview, and I'm gonna pass it off to one of my.
Disclaimer.
So just a disclaimer: we aren't recording.
We are. Now we are. So just like make sure if everyone's okay with that.
Okay. Just so to make sure, is everyone okay if we record the session? If you're not comfortable with it, you're more than welcome to turn your camera off if you want. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned this before, but yeah, we're just going to be recording the session moving on from here now. But as I was saying, so that's
and just before you start, I mean, I am more than happy for anyone to, ask any questions right now as we're going forward with the conversation, whether the questions are through the chat box or, people would like to pass these on to you. So yeah, we can have like a candid conversation. I'm okay with that.
So how we've done the event is this was like a quick rapid fire just to get everybody familiar with it. And then one of our amazing PR managers, Mehreen, she's going to be interviewing you for the one-on-one session. And then we have a Q&A session where people have already submitted their questions, or if they want, they could chat the questions to one of the e-board members, and then they themselves are going to ask you their questions.
Perfect.
So, Mehreen, I'm going to pass it off to you for the one-on-one interview session.
All right, I'm so excited for this. I have been waiting for this moment. First of all, I'm a huge fan. I've been a huge fan for years. So Izzat, thank you so much for this opportunity. And thank you for joining us today. And thank you so much to everyone who's joining us from all across Boston, the US, and even Pakistan. We have such a diverse and international community here with us today, and I'm so happy to see that. And I know from following you as well for many years that from your line of work that's something that's so important to you is diversity and expanding the voice for international and overseas students abroad. So I would like to start off by asking you more about that and about your experience of studying abroad. How did you adapt and adjust? What was it like? And what advice do you have for us students or students overseas in specific?
So just following on from, first of all, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to answer your questions, not just you asking me questions. So, thank you very much for that. And thank you, Izza, and the whole team. So, just following on from what you said, I mean, for me, coming to London was obviously a very different experience, a new country, a new environment, new culture. But again, what you said is very important. It was about the diversity. And I knew that I had to make the most out of my time by interacting with people who were different from me, by coming across people who had different opinions, different thoughts, different perspectives. And that is when you learn and you put yourself in a position where you're able to see the world through the eyes of another. So, I mean, that is how I wanted to adapt. And I mean, when I started my student journey, I don't know, you might know. So, obviously, not just in London, in every university, throughout the first month, you've got the welcome week. They say the welcome week in some countries, somewhere they'd say freshers week, etc., etc. So I had my visa issues because of which I missed my freshers month, which meant that I missed out on the opportunities to make friends. Because, all those events that the university, the student council organizes during the first month, those events facilitate in terms of making friendships. So I missed out on that opportunity. And when I landed, we had started with the classes already, and which meant that I didn't have many friends, but I knew that I was surrounded by opportunities just the way you all are in your university. I mean, obviously, we are living in unprecedented times where we're all affected by Corona and everything has to be virtual, but I'm sure very soon we'll be back on campus. So I knew that I was surrounded by opportunities and I had to make the most out of it by, as I said, by meeting people who are different from me, making friendships, developing those relationships. And to be very honest, I knew that, I have invested a lot of time, even money, and, the emotional investment, the fact that I'm going thousands and thousands of miles away from my parents. So, there was so much investment that I had to make the most out of. So yeah, I mean, that is how I adapted. And my advice to all these students is that, this time won't come back. These moments, these experiences won't come back. So please make the most out of every moment, have fun, learn from the people around you, grow as a person, be productive, the balance is very important. I mean, as a student, I had a great time. I'd go to all these parties at times. I'd come back at 5, but I would be in my class at 9. So, having that right balance is very important because ultimately, it's a blend of both. I was always very involved in extracurricular activities, not just in my university, but even in my school. So, I mean, that's the approach I had. And at times it can be difficult because, at times your studies might get affected and you might just miss out on all those extracurricular activities. But in my life from a very young age, I always had the approach of, having the right balance, keeping up with the right balance of both your studies and extracurricular activities. The problem with me is you'll have to cut me off because when I start speaking, I go on and on and on. So, I'll just end this on one thing, that the student experience consists of two things. One, what happens inside the classroom, and the second is what happens outside the classroom. And both these experiences complete the whole student experience. So, inside the classroom is all about your learning, your curriculum, your grades, and outside the classroom is making friends, going to all these events, attending these Ghup Shup sessions with the Pakistan society, and it just goes on. And then not just in your university, but within your city. I'm sure you can come across different students within your city, and then nationally within the US, collaborative events with other universities. So, it's a blend of everything which you need to make the most out of. I'm so sorry for the long, lengthy answer.
We're
But
perfectly on time. Don't worry about it.
I am trying to work on from a very long time, and my family has a huge issue with it. But yeah, I'll cut it off here and let's move on to the next question.
All right, guys, we just got a shout out for the Ghup Shup session from Mr. Momin Saqib himself. So you guys must join us at the next one. No excuses. All right, and thank you so much for that advice. I'm sure it resonates with a lot of us, since half of us are on campus, half of us are back home. So we feel like, some of us are not having those opportunities the same. But it's so amazing to see that you managed to get through all of that. So my next question is, in terms of, you talk about seeking and seizing opportunity and how important that is in college. That's also a fundamental part of the college experience. So what made you run for the president of the student union? What were your aspirations behind your various campaigns, such as the one to open campus for international students for Christmas break?
So, when you talk about the student experience, okay, so how do I articulate it? I just need to connect the dots. So let's just talk about the elections, the presidency, being elected as the president of the students union, which obviously we never had any student from any non-European student in 144 years. And when I came across that fact, I was like, really, why? Because we do have so many Asian students coming to King's College every year, and not just to King's, but universities across the globe. And I thought, I have to go for it. And there were many people who discouraged me at that time because they said, it's never happened before, it's impossible. Why are you running for this position? You can, do something else. But I was, what's the right word? I was focused, and I really wanted to give it a try because I don't like living in regrets. Now, the second thing is you all can take ownership of your own student experience, which means you can work towards enhancing, improving your own student experience yourself. It's a collaborative effort that is done by the university community and the students. Like, for an example, this Ghup Shup session is a way of enhancing student experience. How? You're giving everyone the opportunity to come together, have a nice, fun, exciting conversation, invite people from across the world, and have this intellectually stimulating, fun, exciting conversation. So you all just took ownership of your own student experience and you organized it. You didn't have your professors email you that, hey, you know what, Iza, Mehreen, Hamna, or Fazan, I want you all to organize a Ghup Shup session. You came up with the idea. So I wanted to take ownership of my own student experience. And to be very honest, I wanted to improve not just my own student experience, but the student experience of others around me. Just as an example, when I was in my first year, during my December break, Christmas break, I did not go back home. And during the Christmas break, the university was closed, and the university was closed. Most of my friends went back home. My friends who were from the UK just went back to their own cities up north, Manchester. So there wasn't much to do, and I felt isolated. And I also came across some other students who didn't have much to do. And I felt that, there's so many students who've, not just international students, but even home students who've traveled thousands and thousands of miles just for King's. This is the only reason they're here. And at this point of the year, the university just closes down and leaves us in the middle of nowhere. So when I got elected as in that position, I worked with the university, and we made sure that every year during Christmas break, the university is open with free food, free games, for all those students who do not go back home, so that we can tell these students that, we know you're here for us. So we wouldn't close during a time when everyone needs to be happy. So the idea is that one of the reasons I ran for this position was I wanted to do something for others around me, and I wanted to ensure that other students who are coming to King's in the future don't get to experience what I had to experience. So that was one of the reasons. And I mean, even before going to London for my higher education, I was quite involved in terms of, doing something in service of the society. So that is where it was stemming from. But yeah, just another example, King's became the first university in London, I guess, where we've got Muslim showers. So that was another thing I introduced, which was quite difficult because there's a lot you need to work on around the drainage, around the costs, etc., etc. But I told them that, we've got so many students coming from Muslim countries, so why not? So this was not the only thing I did, one of the many things I did. So just giving a relatable example. So yeah.
And that holds a lot of weight to it. I wish we could do that here at BU.
Why not? You all can do whatever you think of.
See, like this ideas brewing right here on the
ideas. And how do you come across ideas? When you organize such activities, events, I'm sure when you're all back on campus, you can organize weekly events. And I'm sure before the end of the session, I'll talk about what I'm doing right now. So now I've become a staff member at King's, and the work that I do is very interesting. I won't break this whole flow of questions, so I'll just talk about it briefly at the end, but let's just go on with the next question.
Yeah, no, so my next question ties in perfectly into this. I basically just want to ask you, what is next for you? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? We know you have some very exciting projects coming up, especially in the entertainment industry. So would you like to talk more about that and what you're going to be doing?
Yeah, so I'd like to connect the answer to this question with some other things. So at times, I'd come across people, they'd be like, oh, Momin, tell us, who are you? Are you an entertainer? Are you an actor? Are you an educationalist? Because I work in the education sector. And I tell them, I don't believe in labeling people. When we're labeling someone, we're boxing them. And I think as humans, we can do several things at the same time. I'm a strong advocate of diversity, not just around you, but within your mindset, which means with what you do in life. So for me, I will briefly, my own family gets confused, when they see everything that I'm involved with. So when I graduated last year, so I'll tell you, I did computer science. I did my undergrad in computer science with business management. And throughout my time in university, I was hugely involved in student politics, hugely involved, to a point where my professors thought I would become a politician. But little they didn't know that in Pakistan, it's the structure, the system is quite different. In London, you can be very active in student politics, and that could become like a ladder towards you getting into mainstream politics. That is not how it works in Pakistan. So anyways, when I graduated from King's last year, I got a job just like everyone. Some of you would get a job in a bank, my friends started working in JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, some started working in PwC, etc., etc. I also got a job, and I absolutely love it. I got a job in King's, and I will briefly talk about it. So I got a job and I was happy with it. And simultaneously, because I did computer science, I'm a programmer, I started working on a startup, a tech startup. So I was working on these two things, and one day I was in my office and I get a message that, hey, would you like to work in a movie? And I thought it's from a fake account, and I thought, oh, come on, leave it. But then when I opened the profile, I could see some people, reasonable people who were mutual friends. And I thought, no, I don't think it's a fake account. I said, fine, let's talk. And that was Mr. Adnan Siddiqui. So I spoke to him, and he said, I'm producing a movie and I'd like you to act in it. And I said, why not? I spoke to my colleagues, and in my office, everyone, so I work with professors, deans around internationalizing the curriculum. At times they say people are racist, connecting with that, they say the curriculum is racist also. The curriculum is white. when it comes to the curriculum being studied in courses like history, philosophy. So I work around internationalizing the curriculum, adding different perspectives, African historians, Asian historians, Black historians, etc., etc. So I spoke to them and I told them I've got this opportunity to work in a movie, and everyone in my office, they were so excited. They said, why not? So I took a month's break and I came to Pakistan to act in a movie. I took 1 month off. And when I came here, okay, so, I was in Karachi, I was shooting for my film. And then obviously what happened? Corona happened. I got stuck in Pakistan. I had to go back to London on the 19th of March. And I thought, oh God, I got stuck in Pakistan. So I'd like to connect this with how at times you think something bad happened, but it turns out to be a big opportunity. I got stuck in Pakistan and I started working from home. And then I got a call from Hum TV that we'd like you to act in a drama. I said, why not? I am all about diversity. I'd like to do everything in life. Why not? So that is what I did then. And now at the moment, I am working for my job from home. And I'm also shooting for a drama, which would be aired on Hum TV. So yeah, the pandemic is not a good thing. It's a bad thing, but it did give me an opportunity to get into the Pakistani entertainment industry. And I think the I would also like to use the Pakistani entertainment industry, if I could, to positively influence the society, because I think it's a great medium to change the way people think. But before I do that, I think I need to step into it. And yeah, maybe that is how I could play my part in terms of using the entertainment industry to positively impact the society. So yeah, this is what I'm up to right now. Yeah, so I'm working, I'm acting, I'm working on my startup, and oh yes, and recently I got the opportunity to interact with students from the University of Boston in a Ghup Shup session also.
We're so honored to make that very list of achievements. I heard
that's like the biggest achievement. My whole family, they're excited. I mean, yeah, they couldn't believe it when I told them Ghup Shup session with students from the University of Boston. One of my family friends, they fainted.
Oh my God, we have peaked as an organization today. You all heard it here first. Momin, those are all amazing initiatives. We thank you for all the work you do for Pakistan, abroad and at home. And we're so excited to see you getting all this success, and we know you're going to do even more greater things for us. So thank you once again for having us here.
All right, so
you know what? I know I had to run in 30 minutes, but I'll stick by for another 10 minutes. So if you have any more questions, let's just go on. I'll tell you when I have to run, when I'm literally in my danger zone.
Okay, thank you so much. So we're gonna move on to the Q&A just because we want everybody else to get a chance to ask the question.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna hand it off to Far and Haika. They'll be hosting the Q&A session. All right.
Yep.
So we'll start off with we'll start off with the submitted questions that we received from the members RSVP. And so for the first question, we have Bisma Larib seeking advice. So Bisma, would you mind unmuting yourself, asking a question, and also introducing yourself very briefly?
Hi, I'm Bisma. I'm a junior at BU. I transferred this year, so it's my first year. First of all, I'm a huge fan of you, Momin. I love all the content you make. And my question to you is, what would you suggest to step out of your comfort zone and how to network effectively?
Okay, so so that's a very good question. It could be different for different people, but the way I saw it was, I told you at the very start, when I came to Kings and I missed out on my freshers month, and I didn't have any friends for the first 3 months. Not that it affected me quite a lot, because I'm quite happy with my own self. I think I'm my own friend. So I'm happy alone too. But yeah, if I have friends, no problem. It's good. You get to learn a lot, because if I'm just talking to myself all the time, I won't come across different perspectives and I won't learn anything new. And yeah, meeting new people is always exciting. So yeah, I think what I told myself was that it's, this time is limited. it's going to run up, in a blink of an eye, I'll be out of university. And that is exactly what happened. It feels like yesterday that I stepped into King's and boom, I'm out. So this is what I told myself every day when I woke up. Momin, this time is limited. Make the most out of each moment, each day. If you meet people, don't worry, just say hi, say hello. There were so many times people obviously thought that, what, is this guy mad or what, is he crazy? But I would be, I wouldn't be shy. If I would go at any event, I tell them, I know that at times I would go to these events organized by the Italian Society where we'd have 60 Italians and I would be the only person who won't be from Italy. And I would just step in as if, I am like the, I'm like the Prime Minister of Italy that, hey, how are you everyone? I'm so sorry. I love Italy. I want to know more about Italy. And yeah, I'm from Pakistan, etc., etc. So number one, telling yourself the time is limited. This opportunity won't come back. There would come a time when you're done from university, you're working, and then, you want excitement in life, but you don't have excitement around you. Right now, you've got that excitement around you. So make the most out of it. As I said, you are surrounded by opportunities. So grab these opportunities, and when I say opportunities, it's not just about getting the right job or, getting that interview. It's just making moments, making memories.
Hello, hi, how's it going, man?
Sorry,
I don't have a mask on. Nice to meet you too.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. Someone. Okay, yeah, it's perfectly fine. So yeah, telling yourself the time is limited, and as I said, you've invested so much. Another thing. I believe education should be a right. Everyone's right, but unfortunately, it's a privilege right now. The fact that you're getting the opportunity to be a student in this university, it's a privilege, honestly. This opportunity, the opportunity that you have, not many people have it. So, don't take it for granted. Make the most out of it. And yeah, do get out of your comfort zone and tell yourself that, here I am. And when I leave, I will leave with the mark. And I will leave in a way that when I'm 50, if I touch 50, that is what I would say, my friend. And if I look back, I will not have any regrets. Alhamdulillah, I've had the best student life ever. I know many of you see me on social media, my content, etc., etc. But there are not many people. There's some people who were on my Snapchat when I was in my second year, third year, and I would record every hour of my day. And there were some people who all those people who have experienced my student life with me, and I had a great student life. Another thing I did, I would go to every event. We have more than 300 societies, Italian society, Japanese society, hot chocolate society, Harry Potter society. I would go to every event, better than sitting at home. When I was living in my dorms, you call these dorms, we call student accommodation, etc., etc. I would only come back in my room when I'm super sleepy. That's it. Before that, I would be in King's. I would be in King's at 9 a.m. in the morning, and I would leave King's at 10 p.m. Now, after my classes, I would either attend any event organized by a cultural society from 7 to 9, or even after 9, I would go to a party. Now, I know with you guys, because you don't have clubs in universities, but we do. So yeah, the point is, I would be in my university all the time and make the most out of it. And I don't think during my 5 years at King's, there has ever been a day when I was just sitting in my room throughout the day and watching Netflix. No, I never did that. I would always be out and about. And yeah, if not King's, then other universities around me, LSE, University College London. I've got so many friends, if I were in Boston, I would on a weekend fly and attend an event in NYU. Why not? You see, so this is how I've lived my life, and I'll tell you something. When people say, Momin, now you're becoming an actor, is you're shooting for your dramas, is this life interesting? Nothing in comparison to my student life, like nothing. Fine, people say I'm famous. What does that mean? More people know me. So what? Someone knows me in Amsterdam right now. What impact does it have on my life? It's about my physicality. Your physicality, inshallah, after some months would be Boston University. Right now, it's about the experience you're trying to get through your laptop virtually. And I don't know if you're into blended learning right now or not. Do you have the opportunity to go on campus if you want to?
Yeah, we actually are on campus.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. So yeah, I'm so sorry. Again, I told you, if you want to have a Ghup Shup session with me, it needs to be like a 24-hour non-stop Ghup Shup session. I'm too gappu.
Be also respecting your time. Do you have time for one more Q&A question, or we can just?
Yeah, we'll go for one more question and then I'll run.
And then we'll wrap it up. All right, Haika. So our next.
Yeah, Mehreen, this is so true. कभी आप मेहनत एक जगह करते हो और आपको सिला कहीं और मिलता है. So just okay. I wanted to touch upon. I did my A levels and I flunked it. Because I told you I was in my school I was a very naughty kid. I mean, naughty but never disrespectful towards my teachers. I was a very respectful kid towards my teachers, positively naughty kid. And I flunked my A levels for the first time, and I gave my A levels again. I took a gap year, and that time I thought, oh my God, what has happened to me? It's the worst thing that has happened to me. But now after 6 years, I feel it was one of the best things that happened to me. Gap year is something absolutely amazing. And this is what I'm trying to explain to all these kids in Pakistan, which they obviously don't understand. But yeah, I ended up in King's and I had a great university experience. So, at times you would work very hard towards achieving something, and you might not, you might feel, or in your reality, you might think as if you're unable to achieve it. But somewhere else, at another point in life, you will get the reward for it. You will get the reward for it. So, I'll tell you something very interesting. Okay, I've got a couple of examples. Okay, let's say Malala. Many of you came across Malala when she got the Nobel Peace Prize, right? And you thought, okay, so, there's this girl, she has this accident and then she gets the Nobel Peace Prize. But do you even know that even before many years before that, she got a National Peace Prize? She was an activist many years before that. So, you should always try to see the hard work someone has been putting in from a very long time. Like, let's just say Picasso. Is that the famous artist painter, Picasso, right? That's the name. So Picasso made hundreds and hundreds of paintings, and that is when after that one of his paintings, it just went viral, quite, let's say, like Bhai Maro Mujhe Maro. So do you even know that there's a whole journey someone has been walking on before you get to see them? Let's say with Albert Einstein, they correct me if I'm wrong, I'll recheck it, but he had like more than 200-300 papers that he published. And then one of the papers got recognized. But to us, that one paper came, which got recognized internationally, globally. But do we know about the 300 papers he published before that? So, it's about keep moving forward. And the thing with failure is the uncertainty associated with it. The uncertainty of not knowing how many times do we have to try before we make it. Now, I just want you to pay attention to this. The problem with failure is the uncertainty associated with it as to how many times do we have to try before we make it. Like, for example, there's a wall that I need to break, and the wall, it takes 20 punches before it breaks. And I punch the wall 8 times and, I stop. I'm like, fine, I've tried 8 times. But do I know that it would take 20 punches to break it? So it's about keep moving forward. So if you don't give up, you make it. It's just that you will make it. You will eventually make it. You will make it. It's just because you don't know how many times you have to try to stop. And you will never know how many times you have to try. You just need to keep moving forward. It's about perseverance and consistency. So do exactly the same with your student life, with your work life, practical life. But the most important thing is your well-being. Good mental health is your well-being. Be happy. Try to be happy. Try to look after your mental health. Try to look after your well-being. If you have something you want to speak about, speak to the people around you, your friends, your family, because ultimately it's all about contentment. Because if you're not content in life, then what does it mean to have a good job, to be student of Boston University, to be famous, why does it matter? So it's all about contentment in the end. So yeah, I'm sure you're not crying now.
So our second question was from.
Yeah. We'll take the question. I'm sorry. This is my problem, not your problem.
No. It's okay. We like
Yeah. Go
on. Our second question is from Zaid. So Zaid, can you unmute yourself and introduce yourself and ask the question?
Unleash yourself, Zaid.
Hello, my name is Zaid, and I study at ACES here. And I've been following you on Snapchat since 2017.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. You know
exactly.
It all. You know the student experience that I'm referring to.
Exactly. My question is, where does all this positive energy come from? मतलब हम लोगों को इतनी मिलती, कहाँ से आती है energy?
Amazon. I'm joking. नहीं यार, पता नहीं, मतलब I don't know. I mean, when I wake up every day, I tell myself that I'm going to have a good day, even before I've had it. It's like fake it until you make it. Because if you fake it, you will make it. It's like telling yourself before it has happened. It's like if, let's just, let me give you an example. So, yeah. So I don't know, when we were at that stage where the idea of Ghup Shup was coming out, the conception stage, there was this one person that came out with the idea. And if that one person was telling themselves every day, I will make it happen, I will make it happen, I will make it happen, they will make it happen. But if they came out with the idea and they said it's difficult, it's Corona, we can't make it, not possible, it's difficult, it wouldn't happen possible. So it's like, I tell myself every day when I wake up, it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day, and I try my best to use the universal language that I know, which is kindness. I try to be kind to everyone around me, that I don't hurt anyone, and I can be a source of happiness and positivity to the people around me, because if I'm nice to others, they would be nice to me. And yeah, and then I just believe that, if I am, let's just say that I will live for 50 years. So what's 50 into 365? What's 50 into 365? Let me just calculate. 50 into 365 is 18,250, right? This means, who am I? I am 18,250 days. Let's say I've lived for 50 years, and 50, every year we've got 365 days. 50 into 365 is 18,250. Who am I? I am just 18,250 days. That is who I am. So I want to live every day in a way that I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm making the most out of it. Today I'm done with one day of my life. It's 18,249. So if you look at life like that, you will make sure that, the problems you whine about, you'll be very selective and exclusive. You won't give everything your time. Anything that's not important, you'll just try to, you'll try to live life in a way where that life is short. I came to this life being a happy person, and I'd like to leave this life being a happy person. But that does not mean that I don't have problems in my life. I can speak for another 40 minutes, just taking you through all the hurdles that I came across in my life, all the issues that I came across in my life, all the criticism, destructive criticism that I faced in my life. And I dealt with it. And, maybe we can organize another Ghup Shup session where I can just, I think, because that's important. You see me as this jolly, happy person. You might think, oh, his life is perfect. It's not perfect. Don't judge anyone's backstage by viewing their front stage. This is my front stage. You don't know what's happening in the background. Not that I'm faking it. This is who I am. But it's like I'll tell you, the way I deal with my problems is different, because the problem is not the problem. Your attitude towards the problem is the problem. Your problem in life is not the main problem. It's how you deal with your problem. So it's like your attitudes. It's like your attitude towards the problem. So I deal with issues and problems in a different way. And, I can take you I can take you through different issues, different hurdles, different problems that I came across in my life and how I dealt with those things. You know, I will, there's so many, you know, many of you wouldn't know, but I was very active as a student, you know, raising my voice for the people of Palestine. There was a time when I got quoted in the times of Israel. You know, there was a time when I was dealing with destructive criticism. There was a time when people were saying things against me. There was a time when I was in a room and, you know, there were people who were attacking me. But it's about how you deal with those problems. And if I start talking about how I deal with those problems, it would take a long time, and I had to go somewhere at 5, because of which I'm sure you know that my phone is vibrating again and again. But I promise that if everything gets better, then I will visit your university in person, because I do plan to come to the US within the next 1 year. So if I'm coming to the US myself, I will visit you all and we can have a great time. If not, then we can organize another Ghup Shup session, you know, a good, long, candid, honest conversation about everything, you know, detailing how I deal with my problems and what were some of the problems that I came across in my life. Because when I'll take you through those problems, you'll be like, damn, this is what happened to him. And even then he's like this. It's because how I deal with it. You know, and always have an attitude of gratitude. No matter what's happening in your life, you can always find things that you can be grateful for. The fact that you can smile, you can talk, you can hear, you've got internet, you've got a laptop, you've got a phone. You know, these are all things you can be grateful for. No matter what you're going through, you can always find things to be grateful for. Remember that. Remember that. The next time you're stressed, you're tensed, you're going through a tough situation, you're going through a bad phase, just take a step back, try to play the devil's advocate and think about all the things you can be grateful for. And smile, keep moving forward, rock it, have the best time in university, and wait until I visit your university in person and we all party together.
Perfect. So that was honestly very inspiring and amazing. We are going to quickly take a picture, a group picture. If everybody could turn their cameras on, and then we'll just wrap this whole thing off. Haika, you want to take a picture? All right, Haika's just going to take a picture. Everybody smile. Where is Haika? Okay. Ready? Good. All right, perfect. So we're going to wrap it all up. Thank you so much, Mr. Momin, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us today for Ghup Shup session.
I don't want to leave.
No, I truly from
I'm joking. I have to go.
I truly appreciate you being here. I do want to give a huge shout out to my eBird for helping me and just organizing this whole event. Also, a huge shout out to your manager, Selva. She has been organizing this whole thing for like the past 2 weeks with me constantly over WhatsApp. Thank you so much for helping out.
Salwa is a dear friend, and it's because of her that, you know, I am here. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been possible.
Exactly. So, yeah. She's been helping me a lot this past week. Again, I just want to rush it off, but if you are ever in Boston, like you said you might be, come at the UAS. We would love to host you. Hopefully by then, inshallah, we can do it in person. It'll be even more fun. But again, thank you so much. And thank you to everyone else also for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this event. Probably one of my best, my favorite Ghup Shup session we'd had so far. It was so much fun and interacting, but I'll see you guys all at our next event. Bye, everyone.
Take care. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.